Could we find beauty within broken pieces? As human beings, we can't escape dealing with broken hearts, broken pieces that occur within our own lives. Everyone's got some sort of relationship where they've been hurt. It's not just between our partners, but also takes place with our friends, acquaintances, or situations at work. After all that investing of time, money, energy, and resources in the relationship, and it still didn't work. How frustrating. According to the Encyclopedia of Psychology, marriage and divorce are both common experiences. In Western cultures, more than 90% of people marry by age 50. Healthy marriages are good for couples' mental and physical health, as well as children. Growing up in healthy, happy homes protects the children from mental, physical, and educational, as well as social problems. However, unfortunately, about 40 to 50% of married couples in the United States divorce, and the divorce rate for subsequent marriages after the first divorce is even higher. According to the report, Workplace Conflict and How Businesses Can Harness It to Thrive, 85% of employees deal with conflict on some level. 49% of conflict is a result of personality clashes and wearing egos. So we see that relationships, both personal and professional, can be as fragile as glass. That's if it's not going to be nurtured by both sides, they can shatter into very painful, broken pieces, leaving us heartbroken. Even the strongest relationships can be subject to disintegration. So since we're talking about shattered pieces, I want to tell you a beautiful story of how we can learn from the breakages that we all experience from time to time in life. This is from a New York Times bestseller called Small Miracles from Beyond by Jutta Halberstam and Judith Leventhal. And the story is called, and it's the last story in the book, Transforming Our Shattered Broken Lives into a Beautiful Masterpiece of Art. So the story goes that although she was in her late 70s, Virginia still had the posture and gait of a young woman. Her husband, Alexander, was a serious man with a very sad story. And Leah, their daughter-in-law, always felt that Virginia was the joy and sunshine that he deserved to live out his life with. Unfortunately, he died late 2006, but we all reassured ourselves that Virginia would live out her life to a ripe old age, way past the 70s, when her husband passed on. But 5 years later, she was stricken with pancreatic cancer. Virginia was a woman who kept her home meticulously clean. She never missed a day of exercise, but was now terrified of not being able to take care of herself anymore. She was an elegant woman who was worried that she'd become so incapacitated that she wouldn't be able to take care of the most basic needs. How could she be reduced to this, she felt? On the other hand, though, there were a lot of sacred moments in her final journey. During her visit from her daughter Leah, she told us, saying, I hope that wherever I'm going, there'll be lots of work for me to do, because I just love to do work, because she was such an industrious, hardworking, upbeat lady. Leah asked her tentatively, if you can, and if they let you, and if you want to, when you get to the next world, could you send me a message about what it's like there? So Virginia smiled back at her weakly, saying, you know, you're not the first person to ask me that. When it was time for Leah to return home after visiting Virginia with her son, which was several continents away, Virginia looked at Leah in the eyes and said, well, look, you know, I guess I'll see you in the next lifetime, the next world. They said their final tearful goodbye to each other, which was very heart-wrenching, and they parted their ways. I guess Virginia knew that her time was running out, and a few days later, her soul slipped out of her body in the quiet of the night. After that, Leah fervently waited for a dream when Virginia would appear. She was hoping for a sign, or at least something to know that she's okay. But it wasn't until many months later that she did finally come to her in a dream, and it was vivid and bright. It was a workroom which was very clean, it had a garage, and it was all painted white. There was this table in the middle of the garage with a kind of a boxing machine in the center. Virginia, looking healthy and vibrant, wordlessly showed Leah a white box with broken shards. They were a mix of many different colors and materials. Virginia then poured this box of shards into the box machine, and from the bottom came out this most magnificent mosaic vase. It was a true work of art. There were no words to describe this otherworldly beauty of the way all the pieces miraculously fit together. The shape was very unusual, and it didn't appear that a vase like this could exist down here in this world. The pieces were being held together by a force that wasn't visible to the eyes. Leia was in absolute awe of what she saw. Virginia told Leia to pick it up and take it with her, but Leia said, "I can't, it's too big." So Virginia countered with a, "No, it's not." And then as Virginia handed it over to Leia, it shrunk down to the size of a small gift box that could hold a shirt. And when Leia reached out to receive the box, the dream dissolved. So the gift to us from this message in this dream is that in this world of broken pieces, we can take the fragments of our lives and even the shattered lives of others and transform them into the most exquisite otherworldly vessels. There is an invisible force that hold our dreams, our visions, our mistakes, our triumphs, our very existence together. The gift in this dream was the knowledge that all of our broken pieces in our lives are continuously being put together on all levels. We just can't see it, and we don't understand how it's occurring in our earthly existence. But in the next world, all the shattered shards merge together to create this beautiful work of art. The human beings we once were are no longer broken, but whole, perfect, impeccable, and complete in a revealed, open, manifest way. So things aren't always what they seem to be. So why don't we just take our own broken pieces and be aware that on a deeper level, they come together to create this beautiful masterpiece of art, which is this world and this life. Sure, there's pain in a broken heart. Sure, there's pain in a broken relationship. Sure, there's pain from your boss, your co-workers. But if that was part of our journey, then after a period of mourning and crying and healing, we have to take those broken pieces and transform our lives by realizing that on a deeper level, there's this beautiful mosaic that lies underneath. We may not always be able to see it on the surface, but it does exist on a deeper level. So the challenge is to take our negatives and unveil and reveal the positives that lie deep underneath, because they do exist on some level, and we want to use those broken shards of our life to create our own mosaic that can help ourselves and others too. So summing up over here, step 1, have compassion for yourself by allowing the grieving process to take place. We don't want to over-grieve, that's not healthy either, but we do want to allow a certain amount of grieving time to feel that experience before we can even think about moving on. Step 2 is, once you've given yourself that compassion and that grieving time, you want to realize that an obstacle is often a stepping stone to something even greater. It's not the pill that anybody wants to take, but if you synchronistically got it, then you want to be able to transform it, and do so by transforming it into a positive lesson on dealing and even helping others on what you went through, so they don't need to suffer the way you did. So step 2, look for that mosaic, that gem in the external mud of life, and transform it to the beauty that it really is. Step 3 is then to give those gems away. Share your unique message with the world. It could be either by helping them with the same problem you had, or even indirectly by using your own personal challenge as a springboard for yourself to move forward with general deeds of goodness and kindness towards others. You'll know what to do when you're ready. And the best part is that what you give, you get back in all sorts of synchronistic ways that you might not even see. It's called the law of reciprocity, and it does happen. Just try it and you might even see it for yourself, but not always. Now, that doesn't mean that you haven't been reciprocated. It just means that you don't see the reciprocation that the universe is giving to you in the moment, but it's still happening. And then you'll eventually get a glimpse of a bigger picture from a broken heart to the truly beautiful works of art we can all become. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't done so already, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you'll get notified and you won't miss out every time we upload to this channel. Until next time, bye for now.